Hi, you're listening to the Let's Talk About podcast. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Let's Talk About podcast. If you're new, welcome. Hi, my name is Mumbi Johnson, the host. And if you're not new, thank you so much for listening again and tuning into another episode. So I haven't uploaded an episode in quite a bit, and that's not really great. It's just that my summer has had so many unexpected things that I've been doing, like just traveling everywhere and having spending time with family and doing things with friends. And then just there was so many places to be this summer, and it's already the end of July, and it's just been so much stuff after one thing after the other. So I haven't been able to dedicate a lot of time to this, but I really do just want to sit down and continue doing this podcast because I love doing this. And I know I feel like I say this in every single episode, but I actually love doing this. Anyways, I'm not going to rant on and on about why I have not been on the podcast, but there has been a lot of just personal stuff in my life that I needed to be present for, and I couldn't just put aside time for this and not put aside time for that. So yeah, and that kind of goes into what this episode is going to be about today. So today's episode is all about living in the moment and gaining an appreciation for the here and now, the present times. And so during this episode, I will be talking about appreciating the present moment fully and taking full advantage of every moment that you have that's given to you, that you're able to experience and live through. And I will also be talking about the concept of you only live once, YOLO. A lot of people have heard of this. It's not a new catchphrase or anything, but people have been saying YOLO for I don't even know how long at this point. And I'm going to talk about how it relates to living life to the fullest by embracing the present moment and taking risks. Additionally, I'll be giving some tips and advice on how to practice living more in the moment. So yeah, let's go right ahead and let's talk about it. Beginning with my taking a break from the podcast, there were just so many things happening, as I said before. And those were the things that I needed to live in the present moment for. So I was doing things that involves me being present in that moment and putting all my attention to those things, whether it was family outings, whether it was personal outings, whether it was just traveling, whether it was this or that. I tried to be as present in the moment as possible. And of course, I was doing some content things here and there, but a lot of it was just me putting all my attention and focus onto living the present moment. And honestly, I have had a really great summer so far. I've been really happy, and just being in the moment and appreciating what you're living through. And not everyone can say the same thing because not everyone has the same circumstances that you may have, meaning their present moment doesn't look like yours. They could be starving or not knowing whether they're going to be okay, a certain health condition or things like that. But just taking advantage of the moment that you have, the moment that you're living and breathing through, and just especially when you're with other people, with your family, cherishing those moments, because you might never get that again. And that's a morbid thought, but it's a true thought, in the fact that you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. Tomorrow might be drastically different than today. And in other people's lives, they might have to realize that when that future becomes their present day. And I want to not take any day for granted and just live through it and just appreciate everything that I have in the present moment. For example, if you have money can be gone the next day. Something could happen, go in debt, some major life catastrophe might happen, and then all that money just disappears. So not putting focus on materialistic things too. That's another way of just gaining appreciation for what you have in that moment, because it could all be gone. The house that you have over your head could all be gone. If you happen to be in a fire. Unfortunately, my friend's aunt and her uncle, they had a fire in their apartment building, and now they don't have their home and they're living in a shelter. And it's crazy how much your life can change within a day. a couple hours. So just, I know I've said this like 100 times in like the past 5 minutes, but just gaining that appreciation for what you have, for what is here right in front of you right now. Some other things that were happening were prom. That was a big one. I was really living the moment for that. You know, that whole week was busy. I was getting ready for prom. I was getting ready for graduation. There was just a lot of things happening. I was just trying to be in that moment. And that's why I hadn't really been active on my podcast. Again, graduation. Funny thing is, my dean, who made a speech during the graduation, his speech was all about this one phrase, "I'm here," and he made us like do a call and response thing where like we turned to our neighbors and said, "I'm here." And in the moment, it was a little bit funny, and his speech was it was good, but as I was thinking about creating this episode, I was like, wait a minute, his speech kind of is like true, you know? Not that it wasn't true, but saying I'm here and really realizing that you are here in this moment. What are you going to do in this moment that can maybe determine your future? But what are you going to do in this moment? How are you going to live out your life in this present moment that you have right now? Also just realizing the spaces, the environments that you're in, like I'm here. When I went to Hawaii after graduation, like literally the day after graduation, when I was in Hawaii, I was like, I'm here. Like I'm literally in Hawaii. There's palm trees and ocean breeze. I should become a rapper that rhymed. Just grounding yourself in that moment, like I'm here. This is my here and now. What am I gonna do with this moment that I have right in front of me? And Hawaii in itself was just like every single day, like that phrase was going through my head. I'm here. Like I'm here at the Iolani Palace. I'm here at Pearl Harbor. I'm here at the beach. I'm here with my friends. I'm here with this delicious food. I'm here just doing what I love to do, singing and singing with my friends and being on this amazing trip that I probably will never get the same experience again unless I go again with my choir director and just kind of have that same experience. But like that trip was amazing. Oh my God. I just like transported myself back there. But I was there in that moment and I was living every single second of it. And I would go back and do it again, but unfortunately I can't do that. I don't have a time machine. And honestly, I'm glad that I lived through it. And now I have those memories. But while I was there, I was just taking in every moment. I didn't want it to end. I was like, I'm going to make the most of this trip. I'm just going to be present. And I did vlog a little bit, but I didn't vlog every single moment of my day because there were moments where honestly I couldn't vlog. And in that, it made me even more present in the moment because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to document this, but I can actually just like be here, not worried about, oh, is the camera recording or this, like, am I getting a good angle? I don't know. Really just putting myself in that moment. When we were singing, honestly, I forgot about recording or vlogging this moment, but when we were singing in um Iolani Palace where the Queen of Hawaii was imprisoned, and oh my God, we sounded so good. Like I got chills down my spine because we sounded so good. As soon as like the first note just like left our mouths, it was heavenly, it was ethereal, like, and I was there in that moment. I was realizing all of these sounds, like I was really listening. I was putting my full attention into what we were doing. And I swear that was one of the best feelings I have ever felt. And I talked about this with my friends and like we all felt the same thing and we were all present for that moment. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't record it because it just made me put myself more in that moment. But moving on from Hawaii, like a few days ago, I was on TikTok just scrolling as I usually do, and I came across this one video where this girl was talking about how she lived her life based off of YOLO. And so, for those of you who might not know what YOLO is, it's a mindset that encourages us to take risks and make the most of every opportunity that is presented to us in life, which can help us to appreciate the moment fully. And what it stands for is you only live once, which is true. It's very true, and life is short. So I feel like living by this motto is not, or this catchphrase, this mindset is not a bad thing at all because it's quite literally stating the truth. Like you only live once, so make the most of what you have while you're living. And so in this video, this girl gave a few examples of how she lived her life based off of the mindset of YOLO, and basically how she jumped at any opportunity that was presented to her, even if she had no experience or like she didn't know what she was doing. She just said, yes, I'm going to do it. Like, I want to do it because I might never know when this opportunity will come again. So like a few different examples were speaking at her graduation, she got the opportunity to speak and she's like, sure. She never did any public speaking. Like she just was like, okay, great, like I'll do it. And she jumped at that opportunity. And then there was another one where she was dancing in some sort of like parade, but like she was like a onlooker, and then she asked if she could be a part of the parade, and then they just said yes, and then she started dancing. She didn't know the choreography, but she just jumped in and she was just doing her thing. And then another was when she was in Mexico, I believe. I'm pretty sure. And she asked the news people, because they were like doing a segment. She asked them if she could um read from the teleprompter or like be the news anchor, and they said yes, and she was doing it. Partially drunk, but she was doing it. So she was just jumping at these opportunities. She's like, I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. Like, I don't care what people are thinking about me. I don't care if I mess it up. I'm just gonna do it because I want to, and I feel like this will enhance my life, make it richer, full of more memories, you know? And if the pandemic taught us anything, I feel like it taught us the importance of taking advantage of the moment, because life is unpredictable, like I was trying to say before, and we never know what might happen next. Like the pandemic, no one was thinking like, oh, we're just gonna be quarantined for like however long it was, months, and just like be in our homes wearing masks, not being able to like go to public spaces with a lot of people, like concerts. That wasn't a thing. We didn't know what was going to happen. Literally no one knew. So it's important that you live today like you're never going to get today again. Well, because you're not, but I mean that you're never going to get this moment again. That, you know, live every day like your last, basically, and just take full advantage of what you can do in this moment. And yes, YOLO is a trendy catchphrase that you might see on posters, mugs, room decor at the store. I don't know. I've seen like a bunch of like hashtag YOLO signs. But it's also a powerful mindset that can transform the way that we live our lives. And it encourages us to embrace the present moment, take risks, take more risks than we're used to taking, and just make the most out of every opportunity that comes our way. Now, I want to move on to talk a little bit about Barbie. As you can see, I'm wearing pink because I kind of just wanted to give off that vibe. But the Barbie movie came out in theaters a week ago, and that got me thinking while I was creating this episode. It reminded me of how, when I was younger, I would see all the different occupations that Barbie would have. Like, she would be a teacher, an astronaut, a race car driver, a baker, a model, a singer, like she literally had every occupation in the world. And obviously she's a doll and it's not real. However, if someone could achieve all of those things, let me know, because I think that would be really cool. Like the amount of different occupations that Barbie held was insane. She probably had like over 100. And it reminded me like how she literally did anything, figuratively speaking, how she took the chance to do all these different things. She went out there. I'm talking as if Barbie's a real person, but she went out there and she did her thing. She went to the moon. She was cooking up some filet mignon. She was driving down those race, what do you call those? Race tracks, you know. And yeah, she took advantage of any opportunity that came her way. If you've seen any of the Barbie movies, like she was living her life to the fullest. She was embracing every opportunity. My personal favorite is Princess Charm School, Barbie Princess Charm School. And I remember when Delancey, if you don't know this, it's probably not important to you, but Delancey was like kind of like the mean girl, and Blair was like, Barbie played Blair in the movie. And basically Delancey got one of her fairies to like ruin Blair's and her roommate's outfits before like this really important like museum or palace visit. Sorry, not museum. And then their clothes were ruined. And then Blair was like, Oh, how are we going to fix these? Oh, I know. We're just gonna revamp them. So they used like the scraps of their uniform and created a whole whole new uniform. The opportunity to make something new out of something that's like clearly shredded and then show up and turn and then everyone's asking like, "Oh my God, where did you get your uniform? Like it's so cool." Like anyways, I just went off track, but I feel like Barbie jumps at every opportunity that's given to her. I feel like she's always the one saying yes, like let's do this, like let's go save some animals. Let's I don't know. She is a role model, I guess, for a lot of young girls. And being that she's capable of doing all these things, being an athlete to going to the moon, like it's really inspiring. Like you can do what it is that you want with your life and you can live in this present moment and you can achieve whatever you want to do. You can take whatever risks you want and you can be anything you dream of. Or I feel like there's a certain catchphrase that she goes by, but it's not coming to my head. Anything is possible, or like I honestly just searched it up. A lot of what I'm saying is anything is possible. You're braver than you think. Live your dreams. So this is basically YOLO and appreciating the moment and just believing that anything's possible, taking those risks, being brave, and just living out your dream life. In addition to taking risks and trying new things, there are also other ways to practice living in the moment. So, not just YOLO. If you're not a big risk taker, do not worry. You don't have to jump off of a cliff. I'm not doing that either. Like, I don't think I will ever do bungee jumping just because I do not trust that rope. But you can take other risks that maybe are on a lower scale. And but it's not all like living in the present moment is not all about just taking risks. There are other techniques and different things that you can do to practice living in the moment. So I'm just going to give you a few tips about what you can do to practice just being more in the present, like grounding yourself with the here and now. So you can practice mindfulness techniques, such as meditation or deep breathing exercises. A lot of what meditation is about is breathing and grounding yourself, realizing your surroundings, just like being present and at peace with yourself. And so I feel like that's a really good technique if you want to appreciate the present moment, practice gratitude. It'll help you stay present and also reduce some stress if you're feeling stressed. You can also engage in activities that bring you happiness or that bring you joy, such as painting or hiking in nature, which can also help us appreciate the present moment. So, like if you're painting, you might just be looking at your surroundings, feeling inspired about what's around you. And even the act of painting or just doing anything creative is like you're really in the moment, you're paying attention and you're focusing on what it is you're crafting. So I know whenever I'm painting, it feels so peaceful. It just feels like, I don't know how to describe it, but just like very grounded. And also, obviously, if you're hiking in nature, just taking a walk or laying down in the park or at the beach, you're literally surrounded by nature and just being in that moment. Because sometimes when I'm at the beach, like I'll just look around and be like, wow. And I know that seems like weird, but like, just like, wow, like look at the ocean, look at these shells, look at the trees. Or like if I'm on a walk, I'll see like these really big trees and I'll just be looking up and it just looks so like peaceful. The wind is going through the trees, like the sun is peeking through the leaves. Yeah, so that can help you be present, like just really noticing your surroundings. You can also take breaks throughout your day to help you focus on your surroundings and being in the present moment. So like if you have a lot of work on your plate and you're studying a lot, you can take a break to just get up, walk around a little bit, maybe look out the window, maybe just drink some water and just focus your mind on something that's not your work for like 5 minutes or just really maybe close your eyes, take some deep breaths, like practice those mindfulness techniques. And that'll help ground you a little bit if you're feeling really stressed. Another thing, like I always say, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know me and my journals. You can keep a journal to help you reflect on your experiences and stay present in the moment. So I've been journaling a lot recently. I've been getting back on my grind, and reflection is a good way to think about the present moment. So you can think about what you did today, you can write it down, you can think about what's stressing you out right now. You can write about what you're grateful for right now. There's a lot of things that you can write in a journal. And then the last piece of advice is just surrounding yourself with positive people, positive messages, positive, anything. But if you're surrounding yourself with positive people, you want those people to be encouraging for you, who will encourage you to do things and live life in the present and enjoy life as it comes. And I know sometimes when you're with friends or stuff, you want to take pictures all the time about every little thing, but like sometimes like, okay, let's put the phones away. Let's put like the camera down. Let's just be here together. Let's enjoy this moment and not always worry about like the next photo op. Obviously, you can take some time to take photos because I take photos all the time with my friends. I'll take photos of my food and my parents like, what are you doing? Just like knowing when to put the camera down or putting the phone down and just having conversation, talking to the people next to you and not scrolling on Instagram while people are having conversations. And also, so by incorporating some of these practices into your daily routine, you can learn how to appreciate the here and now and just live a more fulfilling, more happy, more positive life. Yeah, so that was all of the advice that I had to give. And I hope that you learned or maybe took away something from this episode about living in the moment. And maybe you've thought of ways of how you've been living in the moment recently, like different things that you've been trying to do or incorporate into your lifestyle that helps you to like gain an appreciation for the present moment, the here and now, just saying, I'm here. And maybe sometimes if you do need to ground yourself, you can say literally out loud, I'm here. And then think about how that impacts your next action or the rest of your day or just how you feel in that present moment. I'm here. And what am I going to do with this time that I have now? With that being said, we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I honestly really like talking about this topic. You can always check out the podcast Instagram, which is at let's underscore talk underscore about podcast for updates, for weekly motivational quotes, for just like knowing when the next episode is out. You can also watch the podcast on YouTube if you're doing that right now. Hey. Hi. There's a Pinterest, there's a TikTok that I don't really post on, but I should probably make more reels and stuff. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm really more active on the Instagram more than anything and the YouTube, obviously, because I'm uploading the videos. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. And I hope to talk to you guys very, very soon. And I promise there will be an episode out next week.